In this episode of the Arkatech Beatz Music Business Podcast is every artist for themselves. We're going to give you the real reasons why no one wants to help you in the music business. Check it out.
Arkatech Beatz.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's Arkatech Beatz Music Business Podcast. We are your hosts, platinum producers, Arkatech Beatz. I'm Juggernaut.
I'm Mike Drama D.
And we make the super duper group, Arkatech Beatz. I don't know what's going on with me this morning, but we got a loaded topic, so that's probably why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. If it's your first time here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribing. Make sure you hit them notification bells. Make sure you're following us at arkatechbeatz.com. But today we want to talk about, the real reason why no one wants to help artists in the music business. It has been a very, very, very touchy topic that we've been kind of deciding whether or not we want to talk on. But, recently in our comments, we've been receiving a lot of weird stuff going on in our comments and stuff like that. This stuff has just been really weird. We give away this free game every week. Right? We get on this platform, we give away free game. We give away a ton of information that a ton of people are not talking about. A ton of different things, the different ways to navigate this music business. And what we continue to see is that it's totally thankless.
Yeah. It's not just us though, man. It's everywhere, man.
And we wanted to talk about why some of your favorite artists, some of your favorite producers, some of your favorite people, we're going to tell you the reason why no one wants to help anybody get on. And it's every man for themselves. So we're going to talk about that.
Wow, man. Jug, it's a real topic, man. And if you go online, man, you look around, you hear the complaints, man. Oh, why this person ain't reaching out, or why this person ain't look out, or why he don't got this. That he made it. Why can't he put his mans on? Or why he can't do this? Why he can't do that? Jug, man, a lot of folks, man, is tired of this thankless business, man. You go all out, you bust your ass, you do what you gotta do, you get yourself in position, and you turn around and you say, okay, I'm going to go help the next person. And then you go and you do what you gotta do, you put your own career, your own thing on hold, or push to the side, your own obligations and responsibilities. And you take time out to go and help the next person. And Jug, man, in this business, man, too many times, that falls on his ass, falls on his face. And the person that you tried to help, or you actually helped, will turn around and say the craziest things about you, will try and discredit you, and, won't even mention, what this person has already done for you. This person probably already provided food on the table for you and your family, have already provided opportunities to get other deals and other situations going. The time and effort it takes, to put into somebody else. Folks don't appreciate that. Folks don't understand that, you're taking time away out of what I could be doing for my own, for what I could be, the opportunities. I could take this opportunity and do something else with it. But if someone is giving you the opportunity, giving you a shot, then you got to look at it for what it is, man. Look at it as an opportunity and a shot.
For some people, it's not enough, man. And what I'm noticing also too is you can't keep measuring your success to my success.
Right.
Sometimes somebody can help to put you on and you supersede what they did. But in most cases, that might not be the case because there's a lot of external factors that come into play, right? It's like basically I could take a workout regimen, and I think we've talked about this before. We could take a workout regimen, or we could take a diet, and we can post it online, and everybody will have different results.
Right.
Results will vary, right? You all got the same help. You still got all the access to the same information, but it doesn't guarantee that the results are going to be the same. It doesn't mean that you're going to get the 6-pack that I got. It
Right.
doesn't mean that you're going to get the platinum record that I got.
Right.
Right? Like that's really the situation here. Like, and I think that's really where we was talking about it before. Like, yo, there's like we have to redefine success in the music industry. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, we have to start making people have realistic expectations to what's really going on out here. Like, you got to have realistic expectations. You got to look at what social media is doing. You got to look at how hard it is to get people's attention. You got to look at how hard it is to get your music in front of people. You got to see how hard it is to even get quality music out there, right? Like, there are so many different external factors. Then you got situations where you may not even have access to resources or capital, right? Like, we're not even talking about that situation. So when we're talking about people putting sweat equity into you, when people are using their platforms to promote you, when people are using their time to get with you, talk to you, give you game, tell you what to do, tell you what not to do. And then if things don't go your way, or if things don't go the way that you perceive that it should go, or you didn't pop off as fast as you should pop off, then you got to get dragged through the mud.
So
This is why people don't want to help.
Joe, it feels to me in a lot of cases like there's a lot of artists in this, particularly in this genre of music, who just does not have the mental capacity or the intellect or any type of smarts, for the lack of a better word, to be able to do this properly. Like, this isn't just music, it's music business. And that requires some sort of discipline. You gotta read. you gotta know what's going on.
You got to comprehend.
You gotta
Hello.
Exactly. You gotta comprehend. Like, and I think a lot, this isn't just drop out of school and just you gotta comprehend what's going on. When somebody's giving you information, you have to take that information, understand it. If you don't understand, you gotta follow up and ask questions. And I think this is bigger than music, to be honest. I think so many people in our culture, our community, are not taking the time out to educate themselves. They're not taking the time to take information and be able to comprehend what's going on with that information. And yes, there is a fact issue going on right now on the internet where we're unsure what's facts and what's BS. Granted, there's a percentage for that, but there isn't enough people who's trying to be in this business taking the time out to say, you know what, I need to learn about this. Let me sit down and take some time to learn this. If I don't understand it, let me find out about it. If I have to take a course, let me pay the money, take a course, and get a good understanding of what's going on. Let me ask the questions. Let me find out, how do I do this? How do I understand this? Whether it's royalties, publishing, music production, whatever the case may be, marketing budgets, promotion, how does it work? They're not taking the time out to do that. So when these opportunities come and they jump right in, they have these weird expectations of how things are supposed to go. But you haven't done any type of real research. You haven't asked any type of good questions to understand what's the real deal. And then they'll turn around and say, "Oh, he did me dirty." This thing going on with Boom Man right now, and so many countless others. Now, I don't know all the details, but way too many times you see online people are upset about the way deals are happening, the way the turnout of a deal. Nobody forces you to sign contracts.
That's real.
Like you gotta ask the questions. You get a contract, every time me and you get a contract, what we do, we sit down and we go through it line by line like in school.
Yeah.
Line by line. We go to A1, pay so and so. Boom, boom, boom. What this mean? What that mean? We take our little notes down. We go through the whole thing. We go to our lawyer. Come back. Boom, boom, boom.
Talk about it again.
I don't like that. Change that. What do you think about this? I'm not sure. I don't understand. Let's go find out. There's not enough questions being asked. Everybody acts like they know it all. You don't know it all. This music business was designed to be very complex. So instead of wasting your money to buy weed and sneakers every week, take some money and put towards your career, put towards the knowledge, the information that's out there, so you can make the right decisions for you.
But that's really where I think you got to see a lot of artists just like I see artists, I see producers, and like I said, man, I see all this stuff sometimes in the comments, and it's weird, man. It's like even when you're giving away free information, there's still a problem with me giving away free information. It's like I never understood this. It's like how can we be giving away free information, and then you still have a problem with me giving away free information?
I think,
or if we giving away a free ebook to tell you how to register your songs, you don't like the fact that I'm doing it in the ebook. What?
They don't want to read it.
Like, like what? Okay. If you don't want to do that, then okay, then go watch the podcast. Those are free. Right? What's the problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the problem? What's the problem with me giving you information? But there's still a problem with me giving you information. But this goes again back to the situation where this is why we keep saying artists don't want to help. People who are on don't want to help people that's not on.
Right.
It's too much delusion going on. Right. When people are trying to help you, you don't even understand the value of the help. Like you don't even understand. Like you don't understand what these people are getting paid per day, per hour.
Right.
Right. You don't know what we get paid per day, per hour. For us to take our time and do anything, that costs.
I think, and that's something that I'm hearing a lot about from the entrepreneurs that are actually helping others. I'm hearing that complaint a lot, that a lot of people don't respect the time. They don't respect that their time counts for something. You're just not getting the information. You're getting the time.
Like delivering.
Right. And a lot of people are frustrated, and they're like, nah, that's why I don't want to do this. Let me just do my own thing, continue being successful in my own lane, because you hear just too many horror stories where, B artist is mad and complaining about the A artist. And I'm just like, yeah, but we wouldn't even known about the B artist if they didn't originally sign to the A artist. Like, that's the only way I knew who this person was.
Yeah, it's insane, man. Like I watch this stuff, like, and look, you can look at it from a lot of different levels. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of different artists that have a lot of different crews, and you have crews, and you have people that got signed under crews, and you got a lot of different artists. You can look back 10, 15, 20 years. Yeah. A lot of artists get signed to different artists, and then you have varying levels of success. Right. Very seldomly does the people who get signed have bigger careers than the person that signed them. Right? You have a few situations where that occurs. You have a few situations where it don't occur.
Right.
But that's even telling in itself, right? That you have some of your top tier artists putting people on, right? Like you can have a Eminem who puts on a 50 Cent. That's one time every 20 years.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of success that this guy has had after that guy. And then this guy had to still grind relentlessly after his music declined. Still, maintain relevancy in a different arena with film and movies, and you know what I'm saying? And create a different lane for himself.
That was the second or third deal.
But that's the whole point. The point of it is that, he's not an Eminem. Still 50 Cent, still successful in his own situation, but he's still not an Eminem. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And that's the situation. And people got to realize, like, oh, I didn't sell 30 million records, like, 50 million records like Eminem. How could you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to look at what you're able to do with the way that we open up the door for you and take your opportunity and make your success out of your opportunity. If it's just enough for you to feed your family, man, that's successful, man. And I think people, I don't think people really understand. It's like, yo, you're too busy looking at who's trying to get you on and trying to measure up to them versus trying to look at what you got to offer to your fans and what you're going to be able to put on for yourself after somebody gives you a hand up. You know what I'm saying? Not a hand out, but somebody's giving you the hand up. So, like, why is it so hard for you people to figure out, like, yo, they're giving you an opportunity. You have to take that opportunity and you have to make it into something. Like, you have to turn it into something. There's nothing else that you can do.
It's interesting you say that, because it's like another thing that popped up last week on social media was how people were appreciative, or they respected the way Tony Yayo always showed love to 50 Cent, no matter
what.
And he's always been very vocal of just being appreciative for the opportunity. The opportunity, his album wasn't, no major whatever. Some people would think that's a failure. But if you think about it, this guy's able to go on tours. He's able to so many opportunities and to continue to feed him and his family. It's like, what's the problem?
And then and it's funny you talk about him, because he recently said something on an interview, I think on the Breakfast Club, I think he was on, and he said he's now figured out how you can get a second leg out of this thing, right? Like, he figured out now that he can go out and go out and make money talking.
Yeah.
Right. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? But you have to figure that out.
Right. And it goes back to your saying about success. Like, some people's idea of success is kind of jaded. Like, it's not what you, it's the wrong, you use the wrong things. You use the wrong measuring tools of what success is. Like, your success don't necessarily gotta be everything hitting the music, but it could allow you to open doors for other things, so that, yes, you could continue doing music, but you got other things that's popping that's probably more successful. And it's allowing you the freedom to create music, allowing you the freedom to have your bills paid and pretty much, for the most part, do what you want.
I think if you, in Tony Yayo's situation, it's like, all right, they coming in, they rapping, they see 50 do.
Mm-hmm.
That's 50.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you may not do that 1 million copies that week, like how 50 did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you have to look at your own talent. You have to look at your talent. You have to look at your hustle. You have to look at your grind. You have to look at your temperament. You have to look at how you network. You have to look at your skills.
Especially how you network.
There's a lot.
Your behavior.
Yeah. There's a lot that makes the difference between how people succeed and how people don't succeed. And even if you were able to do everything that person was able to do,
right,
you may not be your time.
Right.
Like, that's just the reality of the situation. Like, people just don't seem to understand that. Like, yo, it's just not, that may not just be for you. You may, like, again, you have to look at the whole landscape and gotta kind of take a step back and say, okay, all right, what does this look like? What does this new level of success look like for me now in 2023? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that look like? So if this artist is saying, yo, or if this guy is like, yo, I got a deal for you guys. I'm running a contest. I'm going to give $10,000, $25,000, $100,000 in a free chain for you to get on with my system. What you going to do with it?
Yeah. What you going to do with it?
What you going to do with it? Right? What you going to do with it? Like, what's going to be the plan to take that $100,000, that $10,000 and double it, triple it?
Right.
What's the plan? Like, that's how you have to start thinking. Like, okay, and like, how can I have this situation leverage or segue me to the next situation or a bigger opportunity? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people can't just keep thinking like, okay, boom, let me get this. I'm going to be the next.
Right. The expectations is all over the place.
Nah.
They have to look at every opportunity for something specific.
Yeah,
You
for
gotta
what it
say,
is.
okay, you gotta say, okay, you know, this opportunity allows me to perform at a showcase, possibly win some money. It's a networking event. Okay, let me make sure that when I get there, that I'm putting on the best performance that I can. And then later on, I could review it and see how I could improve on that performance. Let me use this event to network and meet other people. You know, this person may have a insight to something else that I may want to do, or the next leg up where I'm trying to go. Let me network here. Maybe I could do some cameos and features with each other. Like, you gotta take the small wins, man. Take the small wins and use it as a leg up, man. It's a I always say this whole journey is like a large staircase, and too many people be trying to jump steps. They looking at the top and be like, yo, I gotta get there. And what you really need to do is just be focusing on that little step in front of you. Focus on that step, and by the time over and over as you're moving up the ladder, you start seeing the things that you have accomplished.
That's a really large jewel, and I don't want that to go over people's heads. That you have to look at what's in front of you, and look at the next step versus trying to skip the steps, like you're saying. Like there are no shortcuts here. If we're being 100% honest, and if you're looking at how everything is going right now, there are no shortcuts. You have to basically grind for every single opportunity that comes your way. You have to win each and every single fan, every single level of engagement you have to win over. Like, there is no shortcut in this thing anymore.
No.
Like, I don't know what people are thinking, but there's no shortcuts in it. But these are the reasons why your favorite artist ain't helping anybody, man. Like, that's really the truth of the matter, is that there's no, people are ungrateful, people are conniving, people are
unappreciative.
People are unappreciative. This is the reason why nobody's getting put on. Like, that's the real reason. Like, when you're asking why such and such don't put such and such and such and such on, that's the reason. Is because they get burned. Once you get burned by somebody, once you're trying to help somebody and they burn you, you don't help nobody else.
Yeah, that's what happens.
That's it. You don't help nobody else. Like, you get burned one time, we get burned one good time. People try to drag your name through the mud. People have these unrealistic expectations. People want, they want you to put the money up, take all the risk, and then they want to take all the profit. How that work? Like, how that work? How that work that I put the money up, but you get all the profit? How that work? I put all the money up, you get all the ownership. How that work?
Yo,
if you had it, then you would have the ownership.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like how that work? This is delusion. Like, this is what people have to realize. This is delusion. If I put the money up, right? If I put the money up, if I pay for the studio, if I pay for the master, if I pay to promote the situation, bro, you gotta settle for the royalty.
I need a guarantee.
Yeah.
I need a guarantee to hold me down.
Yeah, I gotta get that money back.
Right.
I'm not doing it, we're not doing it for our health. Right? So when I see people complaining about somebody who give them $100,000 in an opportunity, what? What? Like, you complaining about somebody give you $100,000 in an opportunity,
and you a nobody for the most part.
Come on, man. Like, people gotta stop tripping, man. It's not. They gotta stop tripping. Like, you gotta. People acting like this money grow on trees. It don't. It don't. Like, it don't grow on trees like that. Like, and I'm not even gonna say they act like it's like, oh, like, this is not this is in any, you ask any business owner, if they say, hey, if somebody gave you an influx, if you're a small business, somebody gave you an influx of $100,000, they would jump for joy. You know what I'm saying? Because they were like, I could take that money, I can promote my business, I can do this, I can do that. There's so many things you can do with that money.
Unless you feel that you can make the $100K yourself.
Then yeah, if you can make the $100K yourself, then go have at it. But you can't sit in the situation and say, hey, this person did this for me, and I should be able to have this, and I should be able to have that. Like, you know what I'm
Like,
saying?
like, let's not get it twisted, man. There's things that you can negotiate. You know, there's things you can negotiate. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, if a record company, record label, production company, whatever it is, if they putting up a large sum of money and you're going to be utilizing their marketing, their promotion, uh, their machine, then you know there's not much you can fight on. You know, let's be clear, especially if you're a unknown artist, you know, and they're giving you the opportunity. For the most part, then take the opportunity and use that opportunity to maneuver yourself around. Take advantage of it. You know, we're not saying go ahead and just sign any deal that comes across your table, because not all deals are good deals, and some deals, you know, will have you in a bad place for a very long time. What we are saying is, guys need to read, research, ask the right questions, so that you can make the better decision, better choice. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of that going on. And when you offer the advice, when people are giving you good, tangible information, people who are credited, who've been around the block, you know, taking their time out of their days to give you the information to help you, you know, you're either one, not taking it, which is fine, or two, you're taking it, but then you're not applying it and then complain about it, or you just complain about it out the gate.
It's crazy, bro.
And Jug, this is not even just this comprehension issue, mental issue, whatever you want to call it. It's not just in the music business and within our culture. It's just in our culture, period, all around the board. When it comes to being an entrepreneur, when it comes to just understanding things, the way we speak to each other, the way we understand with the information that's being placed in front of us, like it's like we're all sheep. Anybody can say anything on social media and nobody researches it. Nobody asks any questions. Nobody says, no, let me go find out about this is true. Somebody put a hashtag and then that's what it is.
Yeah, but that's where we are right now, man. Like that's where we are. Like it's basically misinformation city right now. That's where we are right now. It's like this is the situation, and like again, you know, it's back to being a situation where folks are not comprehending what's going on. You know, there are only a few platforms that are like ours that are literally out here giving information. You know, even if you look at some of the ebooks and stuff that we've provided, it's like there's no one giving us information like how we're giving it. There's no one talking about these topics. You know, and the things that you need to not just be successful as an artist, but to be successful as an entrepreneur.
Right.
Like, so we're not just talking about like, oh, it's all music industry. We really on the side of, say, music business. Like that's what we're trying to really promote and try to get people to understand. Like, listen, this more than just music industry. We have to start looking at everything as a whole. There was a clip that I saw that I think it may have had will.i.am, and he was talking about AI, and he was talking about how there's going to be a fourth industry that is basically going to come forth now, because you know you had like the music publishing industry, you had the recording industry, and you have the touring industry, and then that's all like the music industry and as a whole. But now, you know, you have a situation where you can't copyright your facial math.
Right.
He called it as facial math, and then he said you can't copyright the tone of your voice.
Vocals. Yeah, your vocals. Like, do you have ownership of your actual vocals as a record
Right.
person?
Like you don't have the ownership of that. And then that's what's going to be the new industry in the music industry. But again, it comes back to, like we said before, talking about information, comprehension, right? If we give you that information and we talk about it, the question is now, okay, can you take that information and can you leverage it into an opportunity?
Right.
That's what people seem to forget. People seem to just think that it's just, oh, you just talking. Like, can you leverage the information that we just gave you? Can you get in front of it Can you decide to make a business from it?
And not
What can
just
you
us, and not
what
just
can
us,
you
man.
do?
Not just us, man. Any information that comes from a credible source that's
Right.
coming from good stuff, you know, like can you leverage that? I remember, man, there was so many B artists, I call them B artists that assigned to the A artists.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, you signed to this major artist and you haven't utilized the resources that is there. Like you haven't formed relationships with, the marketing people and the promotional people that 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 artist A is using. Like when artist A is taking you on tour, you're not meeting and greeting, you're not, finding out who's who and making a little list for yourself. Like those are the opportunities. Instead, they probably looking at, oh, okay, I'm just waiting for my turn to blow. You gotta move around. You gotta network, man. You gotta talk to people. And not only that, man, you gotta be able to comprehend what's going on.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like you said, like, again, but it's back to being like an entitled, thankless situation because in those arenas, those folks are probably thinking that it's just going to be handed to them versus them really getting out and exploiting it. And I have to use that term and say, hey, are you exploiting the opportunities that are in front of you? Right? Are you exploiting the relationship? Are you exploiting, you
Mhm.
know, everything that seems to be occurring? Like that's really what I try to tell folks. It's like even in our situation where we're like, yo, you working with us on our music, whatever, as an independent artist, and listen, if you have access to us to a point where we're able to say, okay, you know what, we'll give you feedback, or we'll do this, or we'll do that. That takes time,
Yeah,
you
this
know,
time.
and that takes time. Now, some folks will appreciate that. Some folks may not appreciate that. If we say, hey, we want to get paid for that time, that's what it is, right? Like that's what it is. I had some situations where some artists was asking, oh, that they recorded something, and then they was like, oh, because because they recorded a track that we were supposed to do something with the track that they recorded.
Just out the gate, just like that.
How does that work? Like you have to do something with the track. Like you have to do something with it. Like you have to do something with it. And if it's moving at a certain particular rate, and if there's a way for us to support it, we can. But you have to show that you have an individual level of commitment and grind to your own music.
Right, right.
Like,
Like they don't just I did my part and then that's it. You got like
yeah,
it don't work like that.
you don't work like that.
It's your if it's your thing and you're not, if and the thing is also on another level is the music any good?
That's a whole nother question. See, that's a whole nother situation.
Did you did
Is
it did
that
it
is
did
the
you take that
music
into
any good?
consideration?
And I think that's another part of the situation that people not really looking at. It's like, okay, is the music any good? Because again, you and I can say what we want to say, but when you put it out to the mass, what are they saying?
Yeah,
Are they rocking with that song?
yeah.
Are they looking for that song to be in their playlist? How many people, are engaging with your record once you try to drop it? Like that's really what the situation is, man. And I can't.
And let's be clear, man. We spend a lot of years creating our brand, and just like anybody else, they don't want to be attached to something that doesn't
Doesn't align.
right. It doesn't
Well,
align with the
basically, we're not
brand.
trying to be trash brand either. We're not trying to align with the trash.
Right. If
Yeah.
if your joint ain't hitting, if your joint ain't dope, you're not gonna get like an automatic alley oop. It don't work like that. You got to be putting in some work. You got to make sure that you're creating quality music. And a lot of times, as far as feedback is concerned, that's what we offer. We like, okay, send your record in, okay, let's check it out. Of course, it's a service, and we'll listen to it like, oh, that ain't the quality that we could stand behind. So you need to do this, or you need to do that. You
Right.
need to go back to the drawing board, hit that like this, or change the way that is, or that record needs a hook. Or dude, you're rhyming for 50 bars in the beginning, and like that ain't a record. Like, what are you gonna do with that? You know, structure.
Or you off beat,
But
bro.
off the beat, like, come on,
Like you off beat, bro. Like you can't hear you off beat, bro. Like you off beat.
off
Like
beat,
really.
off key, off everything.
No, like it's off. Like you don't hear that. Like that's why your joint ain't really moving.
Right.
Or maybe you got too much words going on right now. Your words is you're thinking you got wordplay, but you really just got too much words and nobody understand what the fuck you're saying.
So take the feedback, take the information, and apply it. Versus, oh, ooh,
Now you know what happened, Mike? The production credits and the platinum stuff just fell in our lap. It was all by accident.
oh,
That's why. You get it? The A&R, it just fell in your lap. It was all by accident.
crazy, crazy. But that's
You know what I'm saying? Like that's really like that's the only other thing I could say. It's like, you know, so now what happens is like, hey, if this person gives us feedback, we don't take the feedback. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I go in the room and I'm in the room with RZA and RZA say, hey, I don't like what's going on, what I'm supposed to not take the feedback? It's RZA.
yeah. It's just that it's that something. At least,
You know what I'm saying?
at least be open minded.
Like really, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's done more than I've done, right? So why wouldn't I, you know, take some of that feedback? And that's part of the problem. What's going on again? More delusion.
Yeah,
Like nobody wants to take the feedback. You know, nobody wants to. You know, they feel like if a person has just simply done more than them, it's like a slight to them. I've done more. If we've done more than you, that's just what it is, right? Maybe I've been able to do more than you because I'm older. I've been in it longer. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like that's just what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? Are we saying that all feedback is God? No, we're not saying that. We're just saying that hey, you got to be open to it. But it goes back to that thing that you and I were talking about before, which is um, people have to be open to the feedback. People have to be grateful that people are pouring into them, and you don't see that. You just don't
Yeah,
see the reciprocation. It's like you don't see it. Like, and it's been like this for a while, where artists are just taking, and they're reciprocating.
yeah. And there's a lack of respect for like managers,
Oh my gosh.
lack of respect for producers, like all the behind the scenes people. It's a thankless business. And I saw Fat Joe talking about that also a week ago. How, you know, it's just a thankless business. You know, there's a lot going on, and you know, nobody remembers what you've done for them. They just come up with the head of what you didn't do.
Yo, I really believe that, man. I believe that there are so many things that people do that, you know, people just don't want to remember that this person helped put you on, or you couldn't have gotten on without this person blessing. Like people don't want to accept that. People don't want to accept that they had gotten help.
Mm.
Everybody wants to everybody wants to make it seem as if they did it themselves. And that's just not the case. That's just not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you know, we had help. You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, it's like if Partner wasn't the person that he was, and then Joe could have said, "Hey, I don't want these guys on this album." He
Right.
was the executive producer. He could have
Right.
shut it down, and he
Yeah.
didn't. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people don't seem to realize, man. The same thing with like Power and them. Same thing. It's like, hey, he could have shut it down. He didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like so at the end of the day, folks don't seem to really be grateful for the folks that kind of gave them a little bit of a hand up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like be grateful for that. Like that's what it was. You know? Like that's what it was. Like I see it. I see it happening all the time. But again, I don't like some of these comments, man. Like these comments coming in, like it make you want to feel like you don't want to do
Yeah, that's what's happening a
it.
lot.
Yeah.
That's why so many people who are in position aren't helping. They're like, for what? You know, they you know, they get dragged through the mud, and they're like, for what? Like, I did this, I spent this. You forgot about that part. I spent money. Like, I put up money. Like I put up money for you.
It's
You hear?
crazy.
you know. And then some people, oh, it's business, it's business. You should put up money because you thought you were gonna get. Like, yo, it's business. I could have went somewhere else with that.
Right. I could have
I
took
could
my money. I could have took my money and put it in something else.
I could have put it in something else. I didn't have to go this route.
Right. I didn't have to go in the studio with you that day.
Yeah.
I didn't have to show up to that event with you that day.
I have to take you on tour. I didn't have to give you this opportunity. I didn't have to come here, give you this paperwork and say, hey, are you interested in doing this? And you got to take it, and then you have to look at it and say, okay, how can I take this and get myself to the next level? It may not take you to all of the stairs, but how can I use this to get me to the next thing? Particularly for that next thing. Whether it's, okay, I need more shows. Okay, how can I do this to help me get more shows so that I can make more money, so I can put back into my brand and so forth? How can I take this to do that? How can I take this to reach a larger audience, or the ability to have more networking situations going? You gotta but folks ain't thinking. This is the music business. You have to think business. It's not just music. And a lot of times, as creators, that's all we're thinking about. Oh, the music part, the music part. So when the business part happens, it's like you get shell shocked. You don't know what to do. Make the wrong decisions. Your expectations all over the place. You got to do better. If you want to be successful in this music business, you got to separate the music from the business and concentrate on each part equally.
That's real, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real. I'm glad we was able to get this thing off of our chest, boy. Because man, I'm telling you, it's frustrating, and I'm just being honest. I'm talking. It's very frustrating, and like, listen, a shout out to everybody who's who hits us up and been like, oh, thank you. You know, we appreciate you. We the ones, you the ones that we do it for.
Right.
Right. And then you got the little handful of folks that come through and want to, tell you how you should help. Like, what?
Thank you for the information.
Yeah, like, tell me how I should help. Like, huh? Like, how does that work? So it's like you got a handful of people that do some weird stuff in the comments, but I can see why some people get put off.
Yeah.
And then say, you know what? I'm shutting it all down. Because
that's what a lot of the major artists do.
Because you putting me off right now, and then you jumping on socials, and then now you talking this and you saying that, and yeah. Like, yo, bro, like, listen. What Hove say? Make another Hove. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like honestly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even get into that situation. Like, a lot of time I see this stuff happening. I'm looking at these cats and I'm like, bro, like, you're not going nowhere with that.
Yeah. You're not going to, that type of attitude. See, here's another thing, Chubb, before we wrap up, a lot of these folks never had a day job, right? So they don't understand the discipline of getting up on time, getting to a job place on time. They don't understand structure. They don't understand, okay, there's a way of doing things, policy, procedures. You're going to have a manager and a supervisor that's going to speak to you and tell you what to do. You got to be able to know how to do all of that stuff. You got to be able to take criticism. You got to be able to get to work on time. You got to be able to follow directions. You got to be able to do all these things. If you don't know how to operate within a business, how are you going to do it when it's time for you to do your business? How are you going to be the leader and representation for that? Commanding that from others in your crew or in your team. How are you going to be able to do it? So there's a level of, this is the business. So there's a level of discipline that you have to think, you have to read, you have to get information. If you don't like to read, then listen to the ebooks or find ways of getting the information.
Yeah.
But you have to get the information. You need some sort of structure in order to survive in this music business or in any business.
That's that right there is a jewel, man. Like, again, if you don't understand that, like, all we're trying to do on this podcast is we're just trying to tell you the best way that you can live off of your art. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it so that you can be clear on what it is that you need to do to survive in this music business and survive and live off your art.
Yeah.
So if you're not into that, I don't know what really else to tell you, but this is Arkatech Beatz Music Business Podcast, folks. Make sure that you're following us at everything ArkatechBeatz.com, at Arkatech Beatz. If you haven't already gotten our books, the Songwriter's Guide to Song Registration, it's the essential steps to protect and monetize your music. That is free, people.
Free.
FREE. Free. I don't know what else to tell you. You know what I'm saying? People mad because of why I got to give you my email.
How am
I gonna get you the book?
How am I gonna know who you are, man?
How am I know who you are?
Maybe I want to give you some more free stuff.
People don't get it. Like, people don't get it. Like, that's really what it is. Like, I'm just, it's amazing to me. Like, it's like I'm looking at this situation. I'm like, this is a situation where it's like it's like, here we are giving you something, but you can't even reciprocate it with the email. Like, that's look at that. Something as simple as that. All right. If you haven't gotten the Musician's Guide to Music Copyrights, that's also out. Also, we have the Ultimate Guide to Forming Your Own Music LLC. And possibly at the end of the week, we will be having the Musician's Guide to Music Publishing.
Right.
See? A lot of people want to request that. A lot of people going to want that because that's a whole nother game. So, again, we're trying to create these situations and we're trying to make them small and bite-sized.
Right.
So that,
easy to digest, man. And that you could carry with you. If you're going somewhere, you could just crack it open or get on your mobile device to read through it,
The goal was to make them small, short reads because we know how complex the music business can be, and to kind of break these things down into like really easy to read terminology. Like, that's really what we were trying to do with these. So, again, this is what we're doing and nobody else is doing.
Yeah.
Along with the podcast, along with the short form content. Like, if you don't understand how to navigate the music industry with us helping, I don't know what to tell you. At the end of the day, like, that's really, I don't know what to say. Like, it is what it is at this point,
Just shout out to everyone that's been rocking with us.
Like, for real, like, I can't even.
Yeah, shout out to the ones who've been supporting, and just a simple thank you is always dope and is always appreciated. We got a bunch of those, just a thank you. Like, we got one that said, "Oh, you changed my whole perspective on this business, and thank you. This is some good information." Or, "I'm applying this right now. This has been very helpful." Like, just so many positive feeds. And nobody else has done this. Nobody has like spoken to us in this way. Because a lot of times, Jug, man, folks just want the real deal, like, without the fluff. Just, this is what it is, man. Like, the real conversation, the real, like, okay, you go home at the end of the day, the real behind the scenes stuff, things that affect the music. Nobody talks about that stuff. Nobody talks about balancing your household with your music. Nobody talks about the depression, when it comes to making music and not getting where you wanted to get to. Nobody talks about, when you crash out and you're tired and you got to work the next morning, and you're still trying to, fit time to put your music. Nobody talks about those real things. Everybody wants to talk about, the glitter and glamour and the good stuff, and music is populism. But nobody wants to talk about the real stuff that the regular Joe goes through day in and day out, just trying to get one up, trying to get to their goals and their dreams and being a part of it. Nobody talks about it. So, we're going to give you that, man.
Just because it's not glamorous. and nobody really wants to talk about how the stuff that's not glamorous, in terms of like the grind behind it. Nobody
Yeah,
want to talk about that. Like anybody want to talk about it from the high level, from like, okay, yeah, I already made it on the mountaintop.
that's a recipe for disaster. That's
Yeah,
a
like,
recipe. That's a false representation of what's going on.
but that's part of the situation here, that everybody kind of wants to, everybody wants to do what we call the social media dance. Is always show you highlight reel. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to always show you the highlight reel versus saying, hey, listen, it's not all glitz and glam. It's like, in
Yeah,
order for you to get to that platinum record, you're going to have to do ABC.
right.
Then after you get to that platinum record, after you made a bunch of money, there's a whole nother set of challenges.
Right.
Like,
Or
nobody
or
want to
or
talk
or
about that.
or maybe platinum record is not for you, but you're going to sell enough records to be able to eat off, that you're going to be able to quit your day job maybe
Yeah.
and make a decent living doing what you want.
Yeah.
You may not get the phantom, you may not get the crazy the super mansion, but you're gonna be good. You're gonna be comfortable.
There's degrees to it, man. And I think that's what again, we have to make sure that we're making sure of that people realize that there are varying degrees. It's not a one size fits all.
Right.
There was this controversy this week with one of these reality personalities talking about, like, mediocrity and and people who have average jobs, or people who have average situations. That
That's the bus driver. That's the bus driver.
that bus driver, yeah, that bus driver comment. But the reality of the situation, and just to wrap us up, but the reality of the situation is like this, man. It's like, don't let anybody be the barometer of what your success should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Say that again. Say that again, please. Say that again.
yeah, don't let anybody decide that for you, or what your success should be. Like, your success for you, your success is where you find your peace, right? Where you find your peace, where you find your freedom. That's success, right? Don't let anybody tell you that because you don't have A, B, C, D, you don't have all of the degrees, or you don't have all of the accolades, you don't have all of the plaques, whatever, that's not successful. I don't let people tell you that. But what you're supposed to be looking for is you're supposed to set your own individual goal, what you want out of this business. It could be just to support yourself, just to support your family, just to get a new crib, just to get a new car, a used car, whatever it might be. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you can leverage your talent to get the things that you want out of life, then that's a success. And people have to realize that, there's no barometer to what it should be and what it shouldn't be, so just, again, like, pick your goals, choose where you want to go, and then at the same time, I'll be grateful for the success that you get. Put the work in, and keep it pushing. Like, don't keep looking around and saying, oh, I don't have as much as this person or that person. Like, those things are recipes for disaster, depression, and mental illness.
We call that smoke and mirrors.
Music industry bullshit. That's what we used to call.
Yeah.
Remember, like, and everybody wants to, oh, you got to be like this, and if you don't have this, you're not popping. And nah, man, don't subscribe to that. Like, that's all the stuff that they use to destroy you, and
right,
make you feel like you got something, sleight of hand, and then take everything from you on the back end because you're too busy trying to live up to an expectation that nobody even cares about. That's the real shit. Like, nobody don't even care about what it is.
Kids.
You know what I mean?
Fuck. Man, a whole lot of jewels right there.
We're going to let it do what it do. It's the Arkatech Beat Music Business Podcast, folks. Make sure that you're following us. Like I said, we try to give the game out, the resources to people who really want to understand what's going on in this music business. Good, bad, ugly.
Yeah.
That's what it is, man. But until next time.
Peace, man.
Peace out, y'all.
Arkatech